So your man just broke up with you, and what do? You get on a plane to Italy and write a letter to a bitch that don't even exist and stuff it on a wall. And you wonder why your man broke up with you.
But you do get an answer back. So that's more than your man's going to give you.
Yeah, from 3 old Italian chicks in a house full of smelling like noodles. I mean, you know.
All right. Now, we're talking about letters here. This is the 21st century, right? Has anyone ever heard of texting or fucking email?
What, emails to Juliet? Come on.
Yeah.
It's all going to go to the same place.
Yeah,
nowhere.
No shit.
I mean,
yeah,
what
right.
difference does it make?
And
writing it is so much more romantic.
And we have just nailed down why we are exactly the wrong people to be reviewing this movie, because there is a difference between an email address and the wall that supposedly is underneath the window that Juliet from Romeo and Juliet stood.
I know. Why don't you just write a letter to Santa Claus saying, bring me a new man, because it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, missing the point entirely.
No, this movie should have been called Letters to Who Gives a Shit. I didn't give a shit. When I found out where these letters were going, I'm like, now I really don't give a shit.
See, I thought that concept is actually pretty sweet from a romantic point of view. It's just the execution that has issues.
I think y'all have probably turned into what I used to be a while back. Cause I'm the.
Here we go.
Wait,
dare I say it?
Because I'm afraid of what you used to be. I know what you used to be.
Let's be rational now. Let's just talk about this.
Okay.
No. So what we're talking about here is, of course, a movie, Letters to Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet 2.
Yes, Juliet being the eternal creation of William Shakespeare. And so Sophie, the girl in this movie, played by, now what's this chick's name?
Amanda Seyfried?
Is that it? Because I want to.
You better learn that name, Corey, because she's been in every goddamn movie this past 4 months.
You don't know it by now?
I'm gonna know it by the end of the year. What'd you say?
Seyfried, the sea monster.
Well, see, because I don't know how to say her name. I know it's Amanda. Some people say Seyfried. You know me, my literate ass. I look at it, I want to say Say-Fried. So. Thank you.
Man, I could have some man to stay fried right about now. I'm pretty hungry.
Just call her Meg Ryan if you want.
Yeah. So Amanda Seyfried, she goes to Italy on a vacation with her boyfriend, played by Gael Garcia Bernal. And when she gets there, her boyfriend just wants to talk about food and cooking and try to make connections with his business. Meanwhile, she just wanders off, and she comes across this wall where she sees all these women putting these letters into it. She finds one letter that's just really hidden off. It was buried behind a brick. How that letter crawled behind that brick, I don't know.
Yeah, I told Leon at that point, I leaned over and said, if this isn't a treasure map, I am so out of here.
No.
It is a map, Cyrus. It's a map to your heart, which you never found.
No. If I was that letter, I'd be fucking embarrassed to be on that goddamn wall with the rest of those sappy ass bullshit letters. I don't blame it for hiding.
Chicks just out there just cried. Like, that's going to help.
Fucking crazy chicks. Yeah.
No, she asked one chick, what's happening? You couldn't even understand what she was saying. I couldn't understand if she was just, like speaking another language, or she was just sobbing so much she couldn't understand because she just walked away. Like, is she a homeless woman?
It's like, is this some kind of cult or something? Should I run right now?
This wall about to blow up, but no. So she finds this letter hidden, and it's been there for years, decades, about 50 years, and. They must have built a whole new wall on this letter, because it was deep in there. But
the problem is in Italy they don't fix anything. They always say it's the old country. It's like, y'all could have slapped a coat of paint on some of this.
Yeah, which means when you go in the public restrooms, it is a hole in the floor. Yeah, you got to squat.
So Sophie, who's Amanda Seyfried, she finds a letter, and it's so romantic. It's this woman who was from England, and she had fell in love with a person in Italy. Because of circumstances, she had to leave.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, she's looking for Lorenzo. And that sounds like a drug dealer. Be funny, it's like found a guy with a gold tooth and shit. Where you been, bitch?
She's looking for Scarface.
Yeah. This woman's like falling in love with this guy Lorenzo when she was 15. They were both teenagers. 50 years later, she thinks, you know what? I should try to help this woman find this guy, reconnect him. Not ever thinking that this might be a bad idea. Like he might be married or in jail or something.
It's an adventure. It's like, what the shit? Hell, she's almost 70. What's she got to lose?
Yeah,
exactly. So
and not thinking that maybe the audience doesn't want to think about people of that age having sex with each other. Ew.
Never. No.
Freaking gross.
I don't do it.
I know I do. I love when you try to stop me.
Trying to stop you. Trying to follow a grenade.
Yeah, that's a fucking cat standing in front of a Mack truck trying to stop me with that.
It's our own little Michael Bay movie right there. No.
No, so she finds the woman who's Claire. She is about 70 years old now. And
It's Vanessa Redgrave.
And it is Vanessa Redgrave who plays that part. And so she decides to take on this road trip to discover Lorenzo and see if he really is out there and reconnect them.
I was taking an art course in Tuscany, staying with a family outside Siena. And they had a son, Lorenzo. And it was love at first sight. He had such gentle blue eyes. And he told me I was very beautiful. Sei la ragazza più bella del mondo.
Clara, lei è ancora molto bella.
And he gave me this ring. We wanted to get married, but I'd got exams back in England and my parents would never have agreed, and I got scared and I ran away. What I really want is to tell him that I'm so sorry I was such a coward.
And with this kind of movie, it is more romance than comedy. You really have to go in believing like destiny brings people together. You have to believe that people fall in love in 5 minutes. It's that kind of movie. See, I know that going into it.
Yeah, you better bring your fucking box of chocolates. Is that what you did, Corey? You brought your box of chocolates and your fucking Valentine's Day balloon? Is that what happened? Is that how you had to be prepared?
Dig in my ass and get these chocolates right here. I got some chocolates for you.
It's moments like this that you realize the co-host is just angry because he doesn't have a dick.
I know.
And that anger is stored up all the time.
I got a dick right now. It's about to go in your mouth. Keep talking like that, all right?
I know. Hey, don't worry.
Can anyone say overcompensating?
that little bolt down there don't care.
Hey, don't make these bolts slap you in the face, all right?
No. I will let you guys. I will kindly let you go ahead because I really do think I'm probably the different opinion here.
Well, I think that I just went into it defending it a little bit because I do think this is a great idea for this type of movie for the crowd. I mean, that core concept, like, wow, she finds this letter, writes back, and the old woman's like, yeah, let's do this. Let's look around the Italian hill country and go and try find every Lorenzo within this area and try and see if one of them is the guy. I mean, that's a neat idea for a romantic drama. The problem is that Amanda Seyfried in the movie, she's a bitch. She goes to Italy with her boyfriend, who's a really nice guy who wants to bring her to these amazing experiences like wine tastings out with cheese tastings and some of the best places in the world to get these things. She's like, I'd rather just wander around the city and do nothing without you. Something that comes back later where suddenly it's his fault on some level.
It's one of these things where they're going on a pre-honeymoon, they're going to go to Italy and Verona and see all these things. So the plan was to sightsee, but also he's got his restaurant. He's trying to get off the ground. Now, anybody who knows you start a business, especially a restaurant, it requires a lot from you, a lot of work. And he's like, hey, I can work this to where we'll sample the finest cheeses. We'll have olive oil on the best bread. And her, where she could just relax and say wow, you're actually taking me to do some cool stuff. She's got her lip stuck out. I thought we were going to sightsee. I want to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa and get a little plastic one to take home. And this is not what I want to do. It's all about you now. What about me? It's all about your restaurant. And I hate you.
She's literally sitting there going,
yeah, I brought my map and I have every tourist trap I can think of, and this is where I want to go. Now, you guys are absolutely right. I was really upset at her character, and where you wanted to slap her because her boyfriend or her fiance set up this whole day of going to vineyards, going to taste cheese. I mean, these awesome locations where every fucking girl I know would kill to be on a vacation like this. But no, she whines, and what's her problem? She wants to go fucking hang out to where all these crazy ass women are writing notes, fucking crying their eyes out.
Yeah, the nosy ass bitch
only to
society.
scotch tape them to a goddamn brick wall. And she's like, hey, you want to go with me to this? And what? No, who wants to go and see that shit?
Nosiest bitches in the world. Every woman in this movie is so nosy. Mind your own goddamn business.
I don't hate this movie. I think it works under its own conceits for the most part.
And I don't either.
I mean, there's things like Amanda Seyfried's character, that really sucks that she's that way, but she wasn't unrealistic. And Gail Garcia Bernal, it's like all the characters for the most part operated under the premise that they set up. The only one who had a major, unbelievable switch was Vanessa Redgrave's grandson. And you're gonna look up his name.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I kept thinking when I looked at him, I'm like, okay, it's like Ryan Felipe and Matt Damon had a baby and didn't want to let it out that they had sex, so they had Rick Astley raise him.
He really was like you took an immediate dislike to him before he even said anything.
But then when he talked, you hated him.
It was even worse.
Right.
And then there's this. It does the same thing a lot of these movies do lately. It's like they can't be bothered to actually script the point where two people fall in love that they start off each other, so they just make it magically happen for no reason.
You're right, and that's the fault of this film.
He was kind of being a cock tease, like going up like, hey, am I the woman you had an affair with 15 years ago? And the old dude's like, yes, I think you were.
Totally
like, no,
me.
you weren't, bye-bye. Ski. He's like, no. And he's got his pants down around his ankle, like, no, I'm the one.
Well,
no one's touched me.
It was one dude. I mean, I have to admit, there was one part I felt like kind of like really bad about the guy, because all the other guys they were going to, they were like pimps. Or when I say pimps, I mean like they were like
Italian
like
pimps.
old playboys. You know, they're to an Italian pimp, which means they got a dick. But there's like it was either that or they were like guys who were just very angry about women. But there was one guy, he was so sad. He was blind.
Yeah.
She came up and held his hand, and he was like, "Oh, I've missed you for years." And she turned around, looked at everybody like, "This is the wrong motherfucker. Get me out of here." And left the guy like just kind of standing there. You know, they didn't come and get him.
Like I said, pants around his ankle, walking like a penguin.
Yeah, that dude was still standing there.
Back.
Like, hello?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, he said, "How have you been all these years?" And all he heard was.
He was about to walk in traffic and everything. They just left his ass there.
To be fair, though, she went to the one place with the guy who was like clearly like a billionaire, and he's like, hey, you can stay if you want. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep looking. I would have been like, oh yeah, you're the guy.
Yeah, you definitely is right.
I'm staying. This will be fine.
I'll remember you, baby. No, but
let
me say something here, because I just want to come in and because I do have a counteraction to all these points, and just give me a chance to talk, because I know all of you disagree with me, and you're gonna want to like jump on me in any minute.
Right.
But wrong.
See, there you go, right there. Now that we got that out the way. No, I did not hate Amanda Seyfried in this. I actually liked her a lot. I thought Gael Garcia Bernal was the guy who was kind of the one that ruined that relationship. I mean, because it was not you could tell that there was a history going on with them where he was never paying attention to her. It was not about him like trying to run a business. He goes over there and like every minute, like when they have a time, they never spending time together. He's like, oh, wait a minute, I got this thing I'm gonna do. Oh, baby, wait a minute, I got this thing I want to do here. And it's like she tries to just at least tell him one thing, and she's just kind of like, can you just listen to me for a moment? He's like, okay, all right. Oh, but wait a minute. What's that smell right here? Oh, that smells good. That's some good food. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's good. But let me tell you where I got to go somewhere. I want to leave you by yourself, and I got to go somewhere else. And I'm just like, she's really patient with this guy.
Corey, did you get touched by Gael Garcia Bernal when you were a kid?
I mean, hey,
I don't want to interrupt you.
But no, let me finish. That's what I'm saying, because I know y'all want to say something.
I thought you were done.
No, I'm not done. I will tell you when I'm finished.
Can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
But no, and the other thing is, I don't really hate this film for what it is. I mean, there was a time when I was like, you know what? Romantic comedies are very predictable, and that's what I hate about them. And it's like, well, that is just like any other genre. I mean, just because I'm a guy doesn't mean I can't recognize that this is a certain thing that this audience expects. They do expect people to fall in love quickly. They do expect destiny to kind of exist in these films. And so that did not bother me, knowing now the context that this movie is in. And I'll tell you the thing that really made it for me. In most romantic comedies or romantic movies, they have that one scene where there is a major disruption in communication, some major miscommunication going on. And with this movie, they didn't have that. I mean, there was one little mix-up that was understandable because a name was involved, but it wasn't like, oh, I saw you with that woman, get away from me, and then they just run off. With a guy could have easily said, hold on for a moment, that's my, oh, fuck it. There was never like anything like that. So I think that this is slightly above average some of the more trite romantic comedies we've seen.
Well, if I could piggyback off the last thing you said, is that I'm in agreement with that. In as much as we see so many movies, we get accused like, man, you just see too many movies. And you're right. We see so much stuff that it's hard for something to be original. At the same time, I see so many that a lot of the cliches I'm used to, when they aren't there, I feel like bravo. And this had a chance where, like, here comes the beat when these two characters fall for each other. And it actually didn't work out that way. It was a lot of like, oh, now I'm in love with her. And she was like, sorry, you've been a prick.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that those things were there, but they didn't feel as forced.
They weren't. It was the thing where, like, the movie recently, Valentine's Day, that had all those things, and it was obnoxious. This movie was quiet. It wasn't. The characters weren't obnoxious. They weren't. It wasn't like there wasn't any slapstick. They weren't trying to push the jokes too hard. They weren't trying to do the jokes at all. It could have been more interesting. Otherwise, it's kind of like Broken Flowers. But what I take an issue with is what you say about Gael Garcia Bernal's character, because, dude, he's you. He is so very you.
He
and the
is
fact that you would
kinda
look
you.
at him and say, like, "Oh, it was this guy's fault." That's why I had to cover my mouth. I'm like, wow, really?
Well, I mean, it's not just that he's getting ready to, like, he's running a restaurant. He is on the verge, like, practically the night before opening one in New York City, a high-end Italian place, and he's in Italy. Really? She can't understand and cooperate?
I didn't even feel like in that, and if you put it that way, I personally felt watching that, and I came in a little bit late, so maybe I missed the part where he was going to open up a restaurant when he got back. But even then, you saying that makes me think, like, okay, neither one of these people are really at fault now. They just are two different people who weren't made to each other, who weren't made for each other, and they just kind of realize that, and they drift apart. And that's another thing I like about this movie, where some movies, they try to make the guy who's the either the girl or the boyfriend that you have to leave, they try to make you hate that person so much. And with this, they showed that, okay, if you have a new romance coming up, or if you find that person who's your destiny, or that person who you love more than this other person, there are slight consequences. Somebody's hurt, and I like the way they handled that.
See, that's where this whole thing came off as wishy-washy for me. There were a lot of things I did genuinely like about this movie. I like the score when they were in Italy. There's some really neat music in there.
You did?
I love seeing the countries and the cities there. I mean, most films lately that take place in foreign countries, they don't do anywhere near good enough of a job really representing what it's like.
Log.
And this is really good at that. I mean, it's beautiful, the stuff they show you there. The guy whoever the cinematographer is, has a real eye for this sort of thing.
Well, it's Italy. How can you screw that up?
Well, I mean, Ireland is beautiful, and Leap Year totally fucked that up. Didn't get that at all. But, here's the thing, the big problem, and it is a fatal flaw, is not only do I not buy her motivation for feeling weird in a relationship with him, I completely am oblivious to why there's any relationship at all between her and the son of Vanessa Redgrave. It is forced, a grandson. It's forced. It doesn't, there's nothing about it that feels real at all, especially not the when the hell was it even moment when suddenly they decided they liked each other. And that's a fatal flaw in this type of movie.
Actually, I'm going to get to what I don't like about this movie. I got the guy right here. Christopher Egan is his name, who's the grandson of
Vanessa Redgrave.
But which one died today?
Lynn Redgrave.
Yeah, Vanessa Redgrave. He's the grandson, and he comes on, and they try to, like, play that whole thing up of, like, these two are exact opposites of each other, and how could they fall in love because they're not getting along right now? Because he comes on and plays just that really stereotypical gruff British guy.
I like how he wouldn't give it up, though.
Well, he was just like, I say, how dare you send a letter to my grandmother? He just did anything slight of just pulling off his glove and slapping that bitch. How dare you, ma'am? And just overnight, all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I have been totally unpleasant, haven't I? And it's like,
that equals bad writing.
Yeah, it is. And it was like, wow, man. It's like, goddamn, they did not have a moment at all where they were nice to each other, and they kind of eased into this. It was kind of like, oh shit, she needs somebody else to fall in love with. Let's move that up.
There's a deleted scene where he had a wet dream about her, and that's what changed it for him.
When he's like looking outside of a window playing with himself.
It's like, really,
I prefer that wet dream over this movie.
At this point, I was almost ready for them to do that cheap thing where they're forced to sleep in the same bed or something like that.
Yeah.
Wakes up and she's giving him a handy in her sleep or something. Like, okay, that I could see maybe starting to develop feelings after that. What are you going to do? But
it was funny because the relationship where she was falling apart, to me, and you guys didn't like it, but that was more realistic to me than the part where they were actually falling in love, which is supposed to be the strength of this movie.
Exactly.
So, yeah. This is directed by the guy who did like Charlotte's Web and...
What, the new Charlotte's Web, presumably?
Charlotte Web. He also did Tadpole.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I think that was a movie with Sigourney Weaver.
She's like trapped with a bunch of tadpoles, and she has to get into a flamethrower and kill them all.
So he's still an upcoming director, right?
What I'm saying is that this guy...
Get away from her, you froggy bitch!
Gary Winnick, I mean, he directed 13 Going on 30, another romantic comedy that I always say that
okay.
I like.
He seems to be able to make movies that don't quite reach that bottom, some old bullshit level, but they don't try very hard.
However,
either.
he did direct Bride Wars.
And that was truly horrible.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
Massive fail.
I'll just jump out and say, to me, it's a rental. It's not even a low rental. It's just a plain rental. It's the kind of movie that would come on a Lifetime channel and you'd watch it and go like, that wasn't as bad as the one where Mary Tyler Moore got raped.
Jesus.
Which is every third movie Lifetime channel shows.
Oh, man.
I would have no idea about that.
I have to start watching the Lifetime
Who's
channel.
raping Mary Tyler Moore?
Man, that's all Lifetime. Every third Lifetime movie is either Valerie Bertinelli, Victoria Principal, or Mary Tyler Moore either being raped or chased or having their husband fake his own death.
So when does Mary Tyler Moore gets raped again, part 3 comes out? I want to catch that.
Yeah, more raped.
Do you want me to give?
No, I'll go ahead. I'm pretty much with you. I'm going to give it a little more credit than that, only because I really did like the things I liked about it, like the whole going through Italy thing. The premise I thought it was precious, for lack of a better word. I really liked it a lot.
This is odd because I thought you hated it.
I'm going to give it I was just having fun during it. Parts of it are terrible.
Because I feel like I liked it better than you.
Parts of it are definitely terrible. And like I said, the premise of all the character motivations, between the young people, that's some bullshit. But on the whole, it's a high rental for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was. There were parts of it that were genuinely charming.
Could fool me.
I know.
I feel like I'm in fucking Bizarro World again with you. What is going on?
Me like this movie.
Come on, man. You got to be fair. Don't give it
How's it feel when somebody does that to you?
I'm giving this movie a fuck. No, I don't.
I don't give no extreme rating.
Don't tell me how to rate movies.
Yeah, come on.
I'm giving this a extreme rating. Give me a break.
Extreme rating.
Just sounds stupid.
Has he ever given anything that wasn't?
No shit.
To his co-host was
I
solo
tell you
bullshit
exactly
or better than
how
sex.
I feel and how I rate these movies. I don't bullshit. All right?
I don't think
I don't bullshit around. No.
matinee exists in your vocabulary.
I'm giving it a rental only because I did not buy into these characters as far as their motivation. And yeah, everything was beautiful, but I'll go on the internet and look at pictures of Italy, and I just wasn't. I didn't care about the main, which was this old lady in her journey. I didn't really care all that much. And yeah, these characters who are forced to like each other, I couldn't buy that. I can't even buy the original couple and why they're together. I just thought it was just bad writing. But
to me, it's really nice to see a romantic comedy actually emphasize the romance more than a lot of goofy jokes.
It wasn't really a romantic comedy, though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if we were to categorize,
it's a romantic drama.
That really,
I don't know. There's hardly any jokes in here.
No, some humor in there.
Still, it's lighthearted.
It's a romantic comedy, but again, that's why I'm saying it's emphasis on the romance, and I appreciate that. After seeing the year open up with Leap Year, where it's kind of a similar story, and they just convolute that story with a bunch of just bad physical and human jokes. And to actually see this movie attempt to be sweet, even though it falls short in certain, as you guys, I agree
Leap
with you.
Year. I'm sorry, that's what I was thinking.
In certain relationships, I mean, it does. I mean, the whole story with is it
Vanessa Redgrave.
Damn it! What?
The living one.
Yeah.
somebody tattoo that on his forehead and give him a mirror.
Yeah, this whole thing with Vanessa Redgrave and her story, I like that. Yeah, the story with Amanda Seyfried and this Christopher Egan guy, whatever his name is,
that dude.
Expected, goddamn, Colonel McBride,
Commander
McBride. Yeah, that didn't get to me, but yeah, good looking movie too. I'm just amazed that I went into this thinking that we were just going to be in the death cage with each other at the end. And I'm with you, man. I was going between high rental and low matinee, and I'm kind of going with a high rental on this. I think it's actually a good movie to rent.
Wow, I really came here expecting I was going to fight with all you guys.
I did too. I was just,
I'm always expecting a fight.
Because that's why I was sitting up here like, I was like, no, wait a minute. Let me say what I'm going to say. You notice I got into the back of the room and I fucking had my knife up and I was ready to defend myself. And just let me finish it, motherfuckers. I know you want to kill me, but let me say my say.
No, you didn't.
Great. Now,
they can't see that.
I forget.
Leon, he turned his back. Let's kill him now and give our real rating.
Now here's something I was just that did make me wonder every time Gail Garcia Bernal comes on, because he's known as an international sex symbol. But you ever notice the size of that dude's head, like compared to the rest of his body? Like if he was just like a 6 inches shorter, he would be a dwarf.
Oh yeah, he's got like a Gary Coleman head.
Like him and Prince and Ben Stiller all have that like head too big for their body syndrome.
Oh, and this is a thing that like I guess I was kind of freaked out by him. Maybe that's why I didn't like him and liked her instead, because every time she tried to talk to him, he would just start touching himself. Oh, you gotta taste this cheese. Oh God. He was like on the table, just like a cat in catnip. Oh fuck. Oh shit, this food is good.
Now, see, I didn't mind. I mean, he was making me hungry.
I know. I can identify with that. I'm like,
he's a good salesman.
The one thing I thought, I was like, okay, if she dumps him because every piece of his dialogue is, oh, that's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. Oh, that's so incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. Oh, that's so incredible. It's like, all right, you're a douche. I got it.
Yeah, it's like listening to Carlisle review movies. Genius.
They need to have more guys like him working at KFC when I ordered that double decker or whatever.
That double down.
That double down. Made me realize it's something I should buy and it won't kill me.
Little robot. You gotta try this. Oh, it's incredible.
Dude, if Kentucky,
you're loving it.
If KFC got Gail Garcia Bernal to do their ads for him, the double down. It is amazing. It's just like an orgasm in your mouth.
Can you smell it? Can you smell it?
Everybody just on set looking at him because he's taking off his shirt. Rubbing the chicken all over his
just
pants.
putting it in his pants.
Starts to fuck it.
Yeah, that's how that chick was when she was talking to him. She's like, I really have something to tell you. I'm writing this new book, and he's like, back there with the big French loaf. I'm almost done. I'm done.
You're cheating on me with every goddamn food item we come across.
So you've come to find your Lorenzo?
Yes. Of course, a card or letter is just too simple.